Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to podcast 15, season 2 of the Blue Collar Workers. I am, as always, John, Sean, or Yasha.
And I'm Chris. And if you haven't already noticed, I'm wearing a shirt today.
Actually had a clean t-shirt. So yeah, that's what got slammed on. Today we're going to get into it. I'm going to be talking about Nigel Farage on course to be the next Prime Minister. Mega poll projects from YouGov, from Sky News. I've got why Stemmer wants to keep talking about Farage from the BBC. Reeves warns of hard choices to come as she hints at tax rises, again from the BBC. And the Labour conference live, public can't trust Farage with the NHS. Stemmer warns before Stemmer unveils reforms from the independents. Over on Chris, we have...
got a major big one. Lovely, as most of you are probably, it's some hot topic, the Brit Card or the digital ID. I'll go into it in great detail, what's actually true, what isn't, and I can tell you now, massive lie about to be unrevealed by several other people as well, and they're trying to use it to push for the idea when it's nothing to do with it. Stammer warns Britain about choices between decency and division, and Home Secretary, hard stance on migration, on immigrants.
Yeah, it's going to be,
and also a lovely twist from within, inside the Labour Party, from his very own people.
Let's get started into the big thing, I think. We'll do our two largest ones and then see what's left at the end of it. Nigel Farage is on course to be the next Prime Minister. The mega polls have said the projections suggest 306 reform gains from their current seats tally of 5. This is from a polling of 13,000 adults across multiple counties as a sampling. So take into account this is a sampling, and it is quite large news. The YouGov MRP polling projection based on a 13,000 sampling taken over the last 3 weeks suggested an election held tomorrow would see a hung parliament with Reform UK winning 311 seats of the 650 seats, 15 seats short of the formal winning of 326. In practice, once the Speaker and absent Sinn Féin MPs are accounted for, it would be all but impossible for anyone other than Mr Farage to secure the largest number of MPs' backings and become Prime Minister. Now, I want to caveat this. 1, YouGov is genuinely set up from a conservative point of view. 2, this is only a sampling of 13,000 people in the first year of Labour. We are not looking for an election for another 3 years at minimal. Okay, we do not need to call an election for the next 3 years. And lastly, you have to realise that we are not counting, the YouGov is not factored in the probabilization of the upcoming teenagers and their elections. Remember, we now have a 16-plus election across England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland when it comes to a general election. So there is another 6 to 10 million extra voters that YouGov has completely not disregarded, just not taking a sample from. I don't think disregarded is the right word. Not included. So there is a massive vote swinging selection that will not vote reform. Let's be very, very fair about this. Me and Chris are in our 40s. We're not voting reform. Okay, so it's more the right of us and our older generation who will, but we are missing a massive injection of young voters. So this poll says that we will have a hung parliament with Reform being the largest party. That is entirely plausible. It is also plausible that the Liberal Democrats and the Greens will take a huge chunk out of the Labour vote that the Labour apparently collapse instead of Reform taking it. I
reckon they'll take a bigger chunk than they realise.
Yeah, I know. I think the YouGov is underestimating how much the Green and Liberals will hoover up a vast section of these conservative, these common seats.
I reckon there's still seats from both sides.
Yeah, so do I. The projection of the common seats in Great Britain put Reform UK on 311, Labour on 144, Liberal Democrats on 78, and Conservatives on 45, SNP on 37 seats, and Green on 7, with Plums on 6 and 3 seats won by left-wing challengers. Now, you're missing the fact that Green has a very, very charismatic leader right now. And he has a huge following on TikTok, huge following on social media. And they are coming into the election. We've got 6 to 10 million who are going to appear by the next election. This is something you can't ignore from the YouGov poll. Now, this is alarming. From a couple of Liberal Democrats, this is fucking alarming because the adult population is switching towards reform from Conservative. This is not something we should see as being unusual. A lot of the Conservative vote, it seems, are now moving across to reform because they think the Conservative Party is dead. And I don't necessarily disagree with that analysis.
I think it is dead, to be honest.
Because I mean, the centralists, me and you, we've left.
Yeah.
We've left from the centre of the party.
Of what they've done over the past decade.
Yeah.
You're really surprised.
No, I'm not. Let's be fair, I'm not. The Conservatives are probably going to be dead at the next general election. That is something we can conclusively agree on. The social political medium is the Conservatives are going to collapse below 100, under 100 votes, under 100 MPs. I think that if the Conservatives can keep 100 MPs at the next election, they've succeeded in staving off an existential threat. They are in terminal decline by any analytics of the politics. But I think this should be alarming for everyone because remember, reform is talking about removing people who are settled migrants, people who are here legally. He has a policy where he wants to say around and say your settlement rights aren't guaranteed. That includes Poles, Ukrainians, Czechoslovakians, Romanians, the European bloc in its entirety. That's 3.5 million tax-paying Britons.
That's just damaging.
Beyond damaging. This will shatter. And remember, this is the two-part point of view involving Nigel Farage. If he does this, if he comes through with this promise of stating that resettlement, the settlement rights are negotiable, that you need a bigger threshold and he'll retroactively it. And I've never heard of a government retroactively punishing electorate people. So this is moderately fucking insane. But if he does that, the entirety of the NHS collapses. The entire NHS utterly collapses because many of these migrant workers who are settled in settled status, they work for the British National Health Service, which is already knackered as it is because the Tories have already fucked it. The Tories have absolutely damaged it. And it is the wet dream of the right to sell the NHS. That is their dream. Remember, these are the backers that operate from Reform and from the Conservatives. They want to sell the NHS off. They want to sell it as the last big part of the hurrah of national assets. Because they sold our water, that's fucked. They've sold our electric, that's fucked.
Sold the trains.
They've sold the trains, that's semi-fucked. Let's be analytical here, Chris. Some of the trains work.
On by a thread.
Yeah, some of it works, some of it doesn't. Let's be critically clear about this. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, and that's something for us to be very, very alarmed about. Whereas the water and power are utterly fucking failed. Thames Water is massively, massively in debt. Huge debt. In fact, if Thames Water were to put their debts alongside their assets, the British government could snatch them up for a few pounds.
Shit, me.
Yeah. They're billions and billions in debt.
I'll snatch them up for a few pounds.
Do you know what I'm saying? And you could nationalise it for less than a couple of 100,000, I think, if you were to put the debts alongside it. And that needs to be said. We need to be comfortable saying that the mass sell-off of our national assets has utterly failed or is in gross misconduct. The trains, you could salvage part of the train. There are train companies that actually work. Do you know what I'm saying? There's some parts of the privatisation actually has been successful. That's one endorsement where water, electric, the bulk of the trains, whole section of the train companies are fucking failed, as we admit. The infrastructural projects that have been sold were never designed to be sold. They were never designed to be privatised. They were designed as national institutions to benefit the British people as they go about their daily lives, paid for by the British taxpayer. And the fact that people like Nigel Farage and Reform are on coup to win, remember, your NHS is going to be massively damaged by this. He will be the person who sells it because he doesn't give a shit about what the centre of the country thinks. He only cares what the right wing. He goes for vast abusive conversational positions. Remember, I'm going to send the settled people out the country as well. I'm going to dig them up because he's aiming for outrageous statements. Now, will it be legal? There'll be all kinds of challenges, but he's endangering a huge section of the NHS, and we have to be aware of this. There is a goal behind Nigel Farage's monstrous behaviour. Absolutely fucking monstrous. The poll goes on extenuatingly. Reform UK has improved its position since the last YouGov Molpros in June, when it had 55 seats short of a majority. The projections suggest 306 Reform gains, up from the current seat tally of 5, which would be the biggest increase in any election in the British history. I am terrified that this is going to be a thing. Britain, you have to pay attention. If this 13,000 Britons are an example of the British medium will, why? This man has lied to you continuously, and yet he makes all of our problems sound like they're about migration. Britain, we don't have a migration problem. Me and Chris have said this so many times. You have a far more complex problem with the housing, the living, the rent, the ability to have children because you don't have enough tax money, because you're being taxed through the fucking wazoo. There is an enormous problem here in the UK.
An illegal migrant problem.
We have an illegal migrant small problem that is exasperating the rest of the UK's problems. Massively exasperating. Remember, we live on 8% of our land. We have infrastructure for 50 million and we have a population of 70. Even if you were to Harry Potter wand the 13 so million, and we use the Sun statistic, I don't believe there's 13 million mixed race and brown people in this country. That's fucking far too far. We still have 87% white country. This is mentally jarring, listening to some of the things that the right-wing press engage in. And to the commentator who made a comment about stating just recently, I want to get into this, Chris. We had a commentator that turned around and said, considering the right-wing press, considering Britain's press to be right-wing is absolutely cognitively mad. Are you insane? 5 out of the 8 newspapers in this country are right-wing, heavily right-wing, or centre right-wing.
I say backed by Conservative, most of them are.
Yeah, it's fucking mad. Almost all the investors in the Conservative Party own these newspapers. Are you off your train? The Independent is one of the most neutral papers we have. The Mirror and The Guardian are close to being left-wing. Relatively, I think The Guardian's left-wing.
Guardian's just tipping into it.
Yeah. No, it's a bit more than you think, actually. It's how, let's have a go over that. How right-wing are the newspapers. No, it's how I found the paper. It's how I found the poll. There it is. That's the poll. Like I said, The Guardian, The Mirror, they're left-wing. You can see that from the stats in front of us. The Independent's very neutral. The Times, The Telegraph, The Sun, The Daily Express, The Daily Mail are all fucking right-wing, like rampantly right-wing papers.
You should turn around and get that posted up on the screen.
No, I'm going to. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something here. I'm going to post this up there in the corner as a caption so you can see how incredibly right-winged the parties are, the newspapers are. Britain is led by a paparazzi that is rapidly right-wing. The Times, The Telegraph, The Sun, The Daily Express, and The Daily Mail are proportionately more right-wing than anywhere near the centre.
That explain why that lot always go after Keir Starmer.
Yeah, of course. Whereas The Mirror and The Guardian are considered slightly left-wing, and The Independent is the most neutral newspaper Britain has. Out of the 8 published newspapers, the press is incredibly right-wing in that regard. So, I mean, anyway, I'm running a tangent from reform. The projection of the common seats in Great Britain put reform on... Yeah, I've done that. This would lead to a swing. More than a third of Labour's remaining seats would be in London, making them more reliant on London than any other British party in any other nation or region. Among the big casualties would be Yate Cooper, West Staring, Ed Miliband, Bridget Phillipsons, Lisa Nadia, and Angela Rayner. To be fair, Angela Rayner going isn't a fucking bad thing. The Conservatives would fare far even worse. Pushed potentially to the brink of extinction. They would lose 2/3 of their 121 current seats, won last year, which was already their worst return in 190 years modern history, reducing the tally to 45 seats.
Damn.
The Conservatives are going extinct. I think that's a statement we can actually say now.
That's below Lib Dem. That's definitely on the way out.
Fourth.
Yeah.
4th place. And that's generally the map that we got here. So I'm going to also put that there. Scotland goes back to being the SNP. The Liberal Democrats take a large chunk. Well, fucking, we changed Lib. Jesus, they're expecting us to be Liberal Democrat. Nice.
What's the light blue? Is that light blue reform?
That's reform. And
that's what they project.
That's projecting on 13,000 samples.
So 13,000 samples and missing out the entire youth demographic.
Yeah, completely ignoring 6 to 10 million future voters.
Well, I could tell you now, most of that is here, and here.
Yeah. So the left-wing parties are going to do well. I'm not even saying Labour's going to pick them up. Let's be fair. Labour would have to do a lot of work between here and the end of the next election. Huge amounts of work to improve the living styles of young and working people to swing this back in their direction. I think Labour's going to die. I think Labour is going to be hammered. I do think the Reform are going to hover up a chunk load of the Conservative vote, the hard Conservative. I think the Liberal Democrats are going to do a lot better than what the YouGov poll is giving us here.
I reckon, going by those projections, I reckon Reform and Lib Dem are going to become the two main parties.
Green are going to come in third, I think.
Yeah, and Green's going to take over the Lib Dem as the third.
Because I think there is a projection that's missing 6 to 10 million voters that are incoming.
I see Labour and Conservatives going out the window.
Yeah, no, I think that's entirely possible, Chris. I think it's entirely possible that the Labour and the Conservatives are dying as the two-party state brand, and one of them is being replaced by Reform. And if the Liberal Democrats and the Greens get their shit together, they will be able to fight off.
To push off the Labour side.
Yeah. I generally think that Labour is probably, unless they have a massive coup d'etat before April, remove Stemmer and his current administration.
And revoke the Brit Card.
No, I think they'll do a lot more. I think if the left of the party assassinate, if you like, politically assassinate Keir Stemmer and put a centre leftist in charge and undo a lot of what he's done, including the rights to protest, etc., I suspect that Labour could salvage this. But they need a centre-left leader at this point.
Yeah, he's gone too far left.
Yeah, too far right.
Too far right.
Yeah, far too. He's too authoritarian. I think that Keir Stemmer needs to be politically assassinated now. Let's be very, very clear. He needs to be politically assassinated by the left of the party. They need to remove him in its entirety if the Labour Party is to survive and fend off Reform. I do not believe, as a political analyst, alongside my business partner here, I do not believe under Keir Stemmer they can beat Reform. I think we need to say that.
I don't reckon he can beat fucking anyone at this rate.
No, he could probably beat Kemi Bennock. She's even less popular than him, which is fucking astounding, relatively speaking. Considering, if we look at this, the Conservatives are literally circling the fucking train right now. If it's a choice between Kemi Bennock and Reform, the Conservatives are going to vote for Nigel Farage. If it's a choice between Labour and Nigel Farage, the country might vote for Nigel Farage, and that should terrify everyone. If we get rid of Keir Stemmer, we get a centre-leftist who revokes a lot of these overreaching, arcing powers that is a snatch by Parliament and the authoritarian trend, and we get back to some more democratic things, and we start reforming the tax systems, if they actually have the courage to do that, you might actually see a resurging Labour. They are suffering, though. They are very, very much suffering.
They're on the brink of collapse.
The Tories are. The Tories are already in collapse.
No, literally. Tories are gone, Labour's on the brink.
Yeah. In theory, the Conservatives...
The way Stemmer's acting, they're on the brink.
Yeah. This chart, as you can see here, puts the cons behind the Liberal Democrats. Fucking Jesus Christ. But that's stating that Liberal Democrats are going to lose about 31 votes because the Liberals are at just over 100 MPs at the moment.
I don't reckon they'll lose.
I think they'll gain. I think one of the things that YouGov is doing, because the poll is based around adults, it's not polling the youth.
You need to poll an equal amount from the elderly, middle, and
the young to get a real consensus of
a more accurate thing. And I think they're afraid to do that because of the fact, as you said, the more right wing, which means they'll push for the Reform.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which means if they turn around and actually done a more equal based survey, they'll shit themselves, realizing that Lib Dem has more power than they realise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because this is the polls. Most of these polls do not poll the youth. Many of the teenagers who aren't able to vote at the moment are looking at their country going, fuck me. And they're a lot more wired up than you think they are. They are a hell of a lot more clued in than my generation was when we were voting at teenagers. When me and Chris were voting, I voted Conservative because they said financial stability, maintain the purse, don't overspend. And me and Chris as working men were like, that sounds sensible.
That was sensible.
That was sensible when we were in our 18, 19, 20s. We're like, yeah, that sounds good. David Cameron period. No, I'll look after the money. Okay, that's cool. Labour, spend. Yeah, that looks a bit reckless. That was why we were Conservatives. And now conservatism has gotten more and more and more toxic. Oh, those dirty brown people. Oh, they're stealing your homes. Oh, there's not enough homes. Why are we not fucking building more then? With a growing population, we're 70 million Britons. This isn't the 1950s anymore.
A good thing that I saw was a little picture of me where the banker was turning around and going to the white man, the foreigner, he's after your cookie. Like in the
what's his pile? The 1990s, the pile was small for the rich man.
Yeah.
In the 2020s, it's fucking huge, and they're still fighting over one fucking.
The banker's got a fucking mountain. The one person's still got the one cookie. They're still saying he's after your cookie.
Yeah, it's mad, but unfortunately, that's left wing. But it is actually true. We have a swift system where corporate enterprise has overtaken, and I'm not left wing, nor's Chris. We're ex-conservatives, for fuck's sake. We're centralists, but we're telling you that the system is now rigged against all of us and we need to fight the system.
More than you realise.
Far more than you realise. The projections suggest the nation vote share of 27% for Reform, 21% for Labour, 17% for Conservatives, 15% for Labour, 11% for Green, 3% for SNP, and 1% for Plaid. I do not agree with that because the Liberals and the Greens will hoover up all of the new voters that are coming in. I don't suspect that the young, the 16, 17, 18...
I'll say a good fair chunk.
A huge chunk, Chris. Huge. The projection's 80, 84, 85%. That's massive. They're going to be hoovered up by the left-hand parties. And that doesn't include Labour these days. Labour will not recruit... It's for the first time, Labour will not gain an injection of voters from the youth. I think that they've alienated anyone under the age of 25. Shit, they've alienated us, so that's hard. You've got some relatively good centralistic policies. If you have those, we're okay. But Labour, you don't. You're going more and more authoritarian. You look like fucking Conservative light at this point. Anyway, I've had a good old-fashioned rant about Reform's polls, which look horrifying for everybody. The idea of 311 Reform MPs is terrifying. Britain, you need to start in the political sphere. Labour, you need to politically assassinate Keir Starmer. I truly believe that. Liberal Democrats, we really need to get our shit together massively, and we need to project ourselves. Like, I would say, if it's possible, we should bring the talent of the Green Party to the Liberal Democrats. And that's scary to say. Absorb the Liberal Democrat. The Liberals and the Greens should absorb and have one left-wing super fight, because we know the far left of Jeremy Corbyn and I can't remember her name, Nadia something or other.
Yeah,
they're imploding. They're already imploding. They've barely launched.
Actually, they've only just started to get off the foot.
I know.
They've already started to go wrong.
They're already fighting each other. So we need to try and be a centre to centre left and absorb all of that assets, take all that talent and fight Reform. And it's just about matter of keeping evil away from Parliament.
I say, ideally, we need a party that's in charge, that is mostly central, has a bit towards the left, a bit towards the right, so it keeps it all in line.
To be fair, Chris, I think at this point we need a centre-left government to undo what the authoritarian stemmer and the 14 years of fuck up.
We still need those couple...
Yeah, of course.
To keep everything in line. So it's just going to go wrong.
I mean, the northeast of England would be Reform's strongest area with 21 of 27 seats, followed by the East Midlands and the West Reform. That's us. Fucking Jesus. Reform's weakest areas are London, where they would have 6 out of 75, Scotland, where they would have 5 out of 57. Scotland would see a resurgence of the SNP, an increase of 28 seats to 37, with Labour left with 9 seats. This does not suggest Scottish Labour will be able to win control of the Scottish Parliament in next year's election. The next 3 years are going to be very telling about British politics, and me and Chris are going to be here. We're going to be commentating on it. But anyway, Brit exit card, Chris, over to you.
Oh, Brit exit card. Don't you mean the Brit card? New digital ID that Stemmer is trying to force down our throats.
Again, authoritarianism, not left-wing, not real Labour.
All right, bear in mind, I have done some considerable research on this, gone through several social platforms, actually asked a couple of people that I know what their thoughts are on various age ranges from literally 18 to 20s, all the way up into people that are in the 60s, 70s, to get a full, lovely picture. And I'm not going to lie, it's not looking good.
Over my dead body, am I agreeing to a Brit Card? Not happening.
All right, start off with, obviously, he wants it to, as he turns right, I'm going to drop the bomb straight off the bat. He wants to bring it in because he says it will control immigration.
It won't.
Bullshit.
The black market on immigration labour is prolific. Absolutely prolific.
Just straight off the bat, that's pure bullshit. Because of the fact, why the fuck would they care about Brit Card, the digital ID card, when they've come over illegally anyway?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm illegal, but I'll still scan your QR code to make it official. No, they fucking won't. What the fuck are you playing at? Just absolute pure lies. It will have no effect on immigration, on illegal immigration whatsoever. Seeing as 90%, or literally all the ones that come over legally, have a digital card already, or some form of aspects or digital number to trace them. So there is no need there. Straight off the bat, that's just an absolute straight lie. All right, then let's get on to this lovely list of references that I need to put through, as well as the negatives so far. Since I'm not going to lie, there's only one positive. Only one positive I see from that.
It destroys care stemmer. You said one positive. I consider that a positive.
No, that's going to be the fallout. All right, so obviously, first thing I need to reference is the Data Usage and Access Bill Act of October 24 that was pushed through.
Yeah, that is the framework for the digital bill that we're going.
That is the framework for everything, and it was not mentioned on media outlets whatsoever.
No,
the only thing it popped up on was little independent people that picked up and traced it and reported on it.
Yeah, because it's the framework and what they're building on for the digital ID.
So if you want to get really acquainted to what is potentially to come, read that. It's the fact it contains some nice, lovely bits. And from what I've read so far, I haven't found any loopholes, but I could guarantee you there probably are. Because when since they ever do anything correctly. Obviously, they plan on getting all of us to sign up for it, which this is the one thing that makes me laugh. You need a digital ID to get a digital ID card. Straight off the bat, they're asking for a digital ID to get a digital ID card. Yeah? Bear in mind, some of you thinking, what's a digital ID? Driving license, passport, national
They're
insurance
already
number.
digital.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
They've all got a paper-based, obviously, version for obviously people, obviously for what we carry around, and they have a digital trace as well. So it's already classed as digital ID. So I have no idea what the digital ID card is for, although I do know what it's literally leading up to. But it plans on having all that in one place so it could correlate and put all your data into one place. One easy access point for them to literally control you.
So just to get to the point about the Prime Minister claiming that this will allow us to regulate illegal migration. I know this man isn't serious because I want to make a point of this. The care industry, cleaning, agriculture, hospitality, construction, and food delivery have zero governmental regulation right now. Almost next to nothing. So if they wanted to tackle the industries that are hiring the illegal migrants, you would start with the care, cleaning, agriculture, hospitality, construction, food delivery. They don't. Food delivery and agriculture are the two most loosely organised groups in the UK. And
it has a basic structure, but not really
yeah.
There's too many.
A truck driver turns up to a farmer with 10 to 15 hands. I'll pick all these berries or fruits on the cheap, boss. Cash in hand. Farmer will take the job. Yep. There's no regulation towards these farmhands. None whatsoever. Same again with the food delivery. Remember, Uber Eats. You can register with an Uber Eat with a fucking goddamn provisional license. Provisional licenses are incredibly easy to get hold of in the UK.
And with that lot, they tend to have multiple people working on one account.
Yeah.
So that'll rein that in.
If you actually wanted to solve the illegal working industries where illegal migrants make their money and shut that down, you would affect the care, the cleaning, the agriculture, lesser affect the hospitality and construction. They have been starting to actually work on those apparently, and especially the food delivery. And I don't mean to slag off Uber Eats. I'm just giving Uber Eats as an example. I'm not saying Uber doesn't try to tackle this.
It's not just Uber, it's Deliveroo as well.
Deliveroo, Uber. The whole idea behind this is how lacking in regulation. This is not an attack on Uber or Deliveroo or any of their companies. They probably do try to follow the rules that are implied upon them. The rules are just incredibly fucking loose. If government was genuinely wanting to fix the migration problems on these industries, they would focus on these problems. Carry on, Chris. My apologies.
But literally, all your data are in place. Literally, if you do your research, you'll actually find out that most of your data is already in one place. Because of the fact all those lovely T's and C's, those every time you scan your face and go into a supermarket and use your passport and this and that and everything else, has already been collected and it's already stored. So, as much as you guys go, I don't want my data and everything else, it already is. They're just trying to correlate it all in underneath one name, because at the moment it's in several. There's driving license is one department, passport is another, national insurance is another department. They work in this digital ID, it switches it all to one, which I'm not happy with because of the fact, as we all know lately, cyber
security is fucking horrific.
It's under massive scrutiny at the moment and under massive attack.
There are so few cybersecurity companies in both the UK and Europe in general that cybersecurity is monstrously underrepresented.
All right, just to give you a bit of a thing, 40% of businesses, 1/3 of charities have been breached.
Fuck.
For a cyber attack. Yeah. No, not attacked, breached. Yeah, that means they got through. Yeah. And to make it even worse, government departments have had their phones and laptops nicked. NHS has been hit by ransomware, and even the Electoral Commissioner voting system hacked as well, which means all the people that signed up to vote and everything else, that data has been breached as well. Yeah, and this is, if they can't even keep your voting system correct, how the fuck are they going to keep the rest of it right?
Yeah.
Literally, I'm sorry, but this is working out to be too much of a risk. Yeah. It's the fact they literally want to link, as I said, passport. They then want to link, obviously, your work details and everything else into it. Everything you do online is already being tracked, so that will automatically link to it. And it won't be long before they link your finances. Yeah. It's literally, they want to link everything in, which means it becomes too high of a risk. It's literally a hacker's wet dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's an entire danger to this, Britain.
Because once they hack it, they can steal your identity just like that.
Yeah, completely. Digital ID could be snatched in a matter of moments.
Yeah. And on top of all that, there's a risk of the less tech-orientated people to have access to it or gain access to it. Not just to that, but also to services that they want to link up to it, because they also want to link your doctor's appointments and everything else to it. Why do you need one system for everything? Why can't you just keep it the way it is? If anything, I would turn around. I'll wait for that for the end. Because in fact, I think it would work more that way than anything else. Because I would call that more of an update to an already existing system. Because the way he's trying to aim it is, in fact, it's going to help people with their work and stop illegal migrants, which I've already said it won't.
There's no evidence that the digital note, because they don't use it.
Yeah,
they work in cash in hand, and that's why the government are going to then move towards a cashless society. Mm-hmm. But that's going to cripple tens of millions of Britons who work in the cash industries.
I would say they're going about this all wrong because of the fact, I know they're trying to get it all under one blanket, but you don't need it under one blanket because our digital identity already exists. It existed the moment we all plugged in online.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the fact that at this moment, it is a battle of us against them for control of that data. And yes, they have set the framework in for it and everything else. That isn't going to go away. It's not. So the only thing I could suggest is us taking control, gaining control by who has control of that. Should it be the government? Fuck no. Should it be an independent party / board which regulates everything within a strict amount of regulations? Yes. If we're forced that way, government should not have control. It should be a board of people which turns around and is under massive strict regulations and rules. And the moment they break it, I'm sorry, jail time straight off the bat. So it is people's personal and public safety at risk here.
I don't think this digital ID is going to get off the ground. I think Stemmer's going. This is
one thing that I'm going to add on the very end, which will shock you, which is to do with that. Don't worry, I've already looked at that. Yeah, I'll beat you to the punch, so don't spoil the ending. Yeah.
Go for it.
But just a couple of references that I want you guys to obviously look into. First of all, is the Data Usage and Access Bill for October, that was passed in October 2024. We need to understand that in order to find the loopholes, in order to reverse and to take control of what's already.
That needs to be repealed. The act needs to be repealed, unquestionably.
Yeah. Obviously, in the way that it's going forward, if the Brit Card, the digital ID, does come into place, use petitions to gain control of who's in charge of it, because that is the only way forward that we're going to turn around and actually stop the wrong people getting hold of it and using it as a totalitarian rule. Yeah,
we need to do more than that. We need to abolish the idea of it. It's fucking vile.
Petition. I'm saying if it goes past the point where we can't rescind it. Yeah.
Oh, you can
use petitions.
Look, if Nigel Farage can stand up and turn around and say, "I'm going to throw people who have settled status out the country," you can appeal any of these fucking digital laws.
Your digital footprint already exists. This is one thing I must make clear. Yeah. It already exists. You already have a digital ID.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So people are saying, "Oh, digital ID card. Oh, we don't want it on it." It already exists.
You have a digital footprint.
Yeah. Already exists. And it exists by the pure T's and C's, online shopping and everything else that you have used. Yeah. Even with every single face scan of this. Yeah. Digital ID.
Can't show you mine. Mine's actually doing the recording.
Yeah. Doing the recording. Yeah. But your phone is part of your digital ID.
I don't use my face, I use my finger.
Already exists. As I've stated before, it is not a case of we don't want digital ID. It already exists. It's control of who. It is who controls it. Yeah. So hence the reason why I said if it goes to the part where we can't retract it, we could damn well make sure we know who's in control of it. And I'm sorry, governments should never be in control of people's data.
Yeah, because they've been selling it. Let's take what the Tories did.
Right off the bat, we need to do the first step is obviously petitions to gain control of it if it goes that far, and make sure they have transparency, safeguards, and accountability. The last one is huge. Accountability. Yeah, that's where people misuse it. I'm sorry, there is no get out of jail free card. It is straight to jail. Yeah. And one thing, if it does go through, no fucking exceptions for anyone. Royalty, politicians, the fucking lot.
That's a damn good point.
Everyone has it. That I don't give a shit if you're the Prime Minister. You have one as well. You preach it, you fucking use it. You set the bloody example. And I can guarantee you the moment he turns around and goes to the royal family, you'll need a digital ID card, is the moment it will be thrown the fuck out. By the fucking king. I was about to say queen, but by the king.
We're old enough that, remember, that woman lived through multiple generations of us, so that it's not unusual when we ask her, oh no, it was the king nowadays.
Yeah. And the reason I say a digital ID already exists, because it does. It also exists in the EU. Obviously, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand are all in the same boat. China already has a digital ID card. And bear in mind, they're communist run, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Well, no, that's unfair. They were a long time ago.
Oh, so-
They're now more authoritarian single party.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily call them a communist these days in the purest form of communistic ideology, because they're very capitalistic minded. It's a capitalist authoritarian state, China.
All right, there you go. Due to modern times.
Because of they are rooted in communism, definitely, Mao Zedong, etc., etc.
So take that into account. Everybody, it's digital ID is going. It's already here. It's already worldwide. It's global. We just need to control of how it is used. Yeah, and this is what the fight is for at the moment. Everyone's objecting to the British ID card. We already have one. He's just trying to put it all in one place because of the fact the wrong party gets hold of it. You see the wrong thing online, which has already been proven that he starts arresting people for. If he gains financial control of accounts and everything through it, there goes your friggin' money. He freezes it for something that you said that they didn't like. Hence the reason governments should never be in control of people's data. If they put it in place, it should be an independent, thoroughly vetted company that has strict regulations and controls and safeguards and full transparency. Yeah? None of this fucking secret, hush, backdoor crap. Full transparency. Yeah? If it is breached, they acknowledge and they sack and jail up the cunts that done it. Straight off. And then the only thing I see forward if it does fail, which I don't see why I didn't just turn around and do it, and just update the national insurance to the British ID card. The British worker ID card. That would have worked, wouldn't it?
I want us to go backwards, Chris. I don't want any organisation to have control of our...
You can't go backwards, though.
You can.
No, you can't. The moment internet existed, the moment you stuck your little telephone cable in that port and you access
in terms
internet,
of who controls the data.
Yeah, that's where we need to make sure we monitor and control who controls our data. Yeah? That is the only thing that we're fighting for now, because your digital ID exists already. So people that turn around and go, oh, it don't exist. It did the moment you plugged your router in. Phone. Whatever it was. Mean age, the dial-up internet. Yeah?
The fucking noise that used to make. Oh my days, that used to drive me crazy.
The moment the internet came alive was the moment we had the digital ID. Yeah.
To a degree. But I disagree with it being centralised. Let me phrase that then.
Hence the reason why if it goes that far, we need to control who has that power. Yeah? Which means we should control who controls it. Yeah? They are voted in by us. They are then regulated by us. Yeah? Not by the government. Hence the reason why it needs to be a separate independent party that has the only thing is the public interest at heart, and you need to have an opt-in option so your data does not get shared and it's only used for essential stuff like if they link it all together, doctor's appointments and everything else. Yeah? And a help system for the people that are not technically advanced, orientated people. Yeah.
Yeah. I want us to roll back government interference and control.
Yeah, that's the one thing we need to fight. Who controls? Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight off, it's who's controlling that data. Should it be the government? Fuck no.
Hell no.
I don't care what government it is. They're here to serve us, not us to serve them.
Exactly.
Let's get that right. The government is to serve us, not us them. We have the power. They're just trying to make it that we don't. Hence the reason why Mr. Stammer is playing, oh, if you don't sign up, you won't be able to work. You already fucking are, because of the fact you have a fucking national insurance number. He's a dumbass and trying to fearmonger you. Straight off.
Genuinely, I think we should be fighting against it. There should be, it's certainly not the government controlling it.
And the moment he turns around and says, oh, think of your children, you fucking are, because of the fact you don't want your children living in a place where the moment they see one thing wrong, oh, that's it, your bank account's froze, you can't travel anywhere, you can't feed your fucking self, because of the fact you've met your fucking CO2 emissions by eating too much fucking red meat. No one's going to tell me.
Chris, respectfully, that's fear mongering.
Yeah,
that particular point.
I'm going to say that is taking it to the extreme level, and no one would do that because the fact a revolution will fucking happen before anything like that happens. It's either that or everyone will fucking boycott Britain, watch it collapse, and come rebuild.
I see us reaching a digital precipice where I think digital IDing is not the way forward.
Yeah.
And I vehemently oppose the idea of having anybody control my identical footprint other than me.
Yeah. And just to prove a point, if we all revolted and everything else, I found a lovely little short story which gives a hypothetical situation. Hypothetical doesn't mean it will actually happen. Yeah. Of what could potentially happen if the entire UK did not sign up for the ID card.
Yeah, that 30-day thing.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Thing, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right, obviously, I typed it down because of the fact, obviously, I don't want to be accused of pinching content videos. So, literally, if all of us was to turn around and reject it and to not sign up, yeah, this is theoretically what could happen.
Just for our legal positions, we support the content creators who have done this. We are very much followers. We believe in them. As soon as Chris gives me that detail, I'll probably put it under lower things, so we can at least put.
I'll send you both the videos.
Yeah. So we'll put the credits of who they are in the video as well, just so that we show that we're not pinching people's things. But this was brilliantly put together. If Britain completely rejected it, carry on.
I say, obviously, what would happen if we don't sign up on release? Day one. No one signs up. Press call it a national act of defiance. Yeah, that is on day one. Day 2 to 4, system stalls. People start to adapt and go back to paying cash in hand. Pharmacies go off book. Doctors handwrite notes. Yeah, that's days 2 to 4. Obviously, bear in mind, I'm just reading it. He's going to link the video. The video is so much more compelling.
Yeah.
Days 5 to 7, benefits freeze, universal credit, pensions, child support, but communities rally. Churches, mosques, community centres turn into aid hubs. Yeah. Days 8 to 12, media splits. Main outlets call it a sabotage. Independent outlets call it for what it is, a proper strike. Stammer goes on the news screaming, parents should be thinking of their children. Public knows he's desperate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Days 13 to 17, tourism collapses because no one can fly due to passports not valid without digital upgrade. Airlines bleed, the pound dips. Foreign commentators notice to start saying, is the UK boycotting their own government? Yeah,
of course, we've done that before.
Day 18 to 21, hospital strain. Appointments carry on, but surgeries and prescriptions start to backlog. Doctors and nurses are in the same boat, start to whisper about breaking rules. Stammer comes on saying it is reckless, this is dangerous. Yeah. Day 22 to 25, cash in hand starts to become dominant again. Shops, landlords, employers start leaning off the books. Official trade slows, but the underground grows. That's a good one, that. Public keep moving, but the government looks stuck. Days 26 to 29, Parliament fractures as protests surge. Labour MPs face social blackout as no one will talk to them, serve them, shake their hand or anything. Yeah. Day 30, full month in refusal holds, system stalls, economy bleeding, and the government cut off by the people whilst the world watches to see who breaks first. That's just within the first month. Soon as
he's doing another part of that involving.
He's doing another part of month 2. As soon as that's up, I will be reading that.
Because it's a brilliant understanding that if we were to unite as a country to oppose this digital things, and I love that thing, I absolutely do. And me and Chris will put it in our video because it deserves to be promoted. It's prolific, absolutely prolific in how the corporate and political elite think that we are too stupid to look after our own stuff.
Which literally leads to my last and lovely point. I find this absolutely hysterical. Before it's even launched, there's already been question marks about it within his own party. It is a sub story to this. So I'm literally just got to scroll down. Because it's from somebody that done it already. There you go. This is a lovely article from The Independent. Yeah.
We make a point nowadays
Yeah.
of telling you where we're getting our
Yeah.
information.
And Andy Burham has warned that Sir Keir Starmer's bid to bring in digital ID could be a huge waste of time. The Mayor of Greater Manchester, who has hinted at Labour's leadership bid, said earlier today that he disagreed with Sir Keir's flagship plans to introduce new digital ID cards in Britain. Asked by the Telegraph why he opposed to the policy, he told a fringe event at the Labour conference, "I was the ID cards minister under Blair." This is someone that's
holy shit!
Which is 20 years ago, actually 2025. I can be persuaded now, so I'm kind of arguing against the principle. I was very pro, actually. I thought there was a real case for it. But I go back to the experience that I had because I did get the bill through Parliament. We put a huge amount of effort into it, but it didn't even come through Parliament. Yeah. And that is why I said at the event that you referencing, I said not now, because I think that there is a risk of an opportunity cost situation here where something can consume a huge amount of time and actually doesn't come through. And that would be a lesson of that 2025 to 2010 Parliament. It consumed a lot of airtime, but it didn't actually materialize. So a person within his own fucking party,
who was one of Tony Blair's own ministers,
which worked on when it first tried to be put through, it is a waste of time. Yeah.
Because I fully believe that a whole chunk of the Labour MPs are going to vote against it.
Yeah.
I do think once it comes to Parliament, he's going to lose that vote. And when it does, it's probably going to be the death of his career. So how do you know? I hope he carries on.
Yeah.
Because we get rid of the cunt. Because neither me or Chris are Stemmer fans. We can't stand it.
Bear in mind, this is someone that worked on the previous time they need to do it, and it didn't make it through Parliament. Yeah?
Yeah.
And the fact that there is so much upheaval, if it makes it through Parliament this time, there is going to be massive fallout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So I see the end of Keir Starmer's reign
this year.
Within a year.
Within a year. 2026 should be a very interesting year. Very interesting.
So even though I do turn around, it's just that you literally start looking into the act. Where did it go? I can never remember the name of it.
The Digital Something Act.
Yeah. Data Use and Access Bill, October 2024. For those that are worried about the digital ID, you need to research it, read it up.
Definitely.
It gives you a more better understanding of where it could go. Obviously, there is a lot of fear mongering saying it's going to go to the way extreme of everything control. But this is where I turn around and say, if it does go through, this is where we need to sign up petitions, do everything we can so we don't have the government in control of it. We have a separate independent party that is regulated by safeguards, transparency, and accountability. Yeah? So it does not fall into the government hands.
Definitely. I happen to agree. I think that's necessary. What's the time on that, Chris?
54.
Yeah, I thought so. So what we'll do is we're going to wrap up on what you're doing there, mate, and then we're just going to leave it at these two big points. I mean, I fundamentally believe that the Brit Card is a mistake way, and I agree with Andy Birmingham. I think his name is Birmingham.
Yeah.
He's very, very clearly said, I worked on this 20 years ago and it didn't work. This is probably going to die horribly in Parliament because there are a lot of Labour MPs that are deeply fucking worried about their seats. Because as I've just said to you in the previous piece that me and Chris have mentioned about the reform surging fucking forward in any poll that we have, that they are going to be, there is some Labour sweats going on. If Labour's about to lose 200 fucking seats, there are a lot of Labour MPs that don't want to be seen more right wing.
They've been put between a rock and a hard place because, in fact, all the public is kicking off about the digital ID card. They're worried about reform coming along.
So I would say that I, from my point of view, if I was a Labour MP right now, I would say let's sacrifice the digital ID card, win back some of the public's goodwill, so we can move on with other problems and probably sack that cunt. Because I think if the digital ID falls, I think it will fall with him.
Yeah.
You think if his own party rejects it massively, you think he will drop?
It'll be gone.
I think so. I think if the digital ID is openly rejected by his entire party, Keir Starmer will probably collapse. He's already weak as it is.
There's too many negatives to this digital ID card.
Yeah.
Far too many. And there's a massive security one to go with it. And that's cyber security, which is being massively attacked at the moment. Jaguar is the latest one, with obviously being attacked. Obviously, there's M&S before that. There's all the literally 40% of businesses that have been breached by cyber attack. 1/3 of charities, the government departments have had their phones and laptops stolen to get into it. Literally, NHS has been hit by ransomware. The Electoral Commission's voting system has been breached as well. Yeah. How can we trust such a government with such a sensitive?
Yeah, absolutely. Thing? The only people who should be dealing with their digital ID and controlling it is Chris with his, me with mine, you with yours. Those should be the people controlling our digital ID. This is where
VPNs come massively in. They
get yourself one. Yeah. We own them. Yeah. We own our own.
Yeah, we own our own.
Get your own fucking VPNs. Yeah. You have to at this point.
At the moment, they're trying to blacklist those VPNs because they want your data.
Yeah.
At the moment, you turn around and start. This is first stage pushback. VPNs need to push back through and stop trying to negotiate. I've already experienced the fact that I've had my VPN turned on my phone and my laptop, and the network is turning around and going, unless you turn it off, you're not allowed access. I stuck my finger up and did not use that network.
It's getting to the point where we have to be willing to digitally source where we are taking our assets and our resources now. You have a digital footprint, as Chris just told me. I would like to roll it back where these fuckers have no insert into my digital life.
The internet.
Yeah, and Chris quite rightly argued you'd have to unplug the fucking internet. I apologise that me and Chris haven't mentioned the other points that we wanted to. These 2 points have been massive. They needed the hour.
I think next episode we'll cut any points we missed in the past couple of 2-3 episodes. We'll bring in.
Yeah, we are absolutely at podcast 16. But today that was really 2 massive points where we've got the Brit Card, and we've got Reform's resurgence. I think that works really, really well for us today for that hour. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm John, Sean, or Yaka, depends on who you're asking.
I'm Chris. Hope you have a smashing day.
And I speak. This is your voice, your nation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.